Welcome to lesson 30. We're going to create a little program here. I originally called it toggle create div. I'm going to call it auto div, as in automatic div. And here's what it's going to look like. Let me reload this. So these div elements are being created automatically, and they are taking up the entire width of the web page, and they are being assigned a random color. Okay, and that'll go on forever. And you may be wondering, and we can turn it off, by the way. And you may be wondering, what am I going to use that for? Well, you're going to use this to learn how to code better. Also, it'd be kind of fun to do something like this on a website and have some random stripes or random shapes or whatever appear every once in a while. You can tweak this to make it do a whole bunch of different things. So this is the code I want you to copy. It's got a little bit of CSS. It's got a tiny bit of HTML. And then you can see a little bit of JavaScript. And go ahead and copy that function get random color. We did some random colors in earlier lessons, so we don't need to go over that again. I'll just let you copy that because we will be using that. So after you copy that, I'll return and we will get started writing some more functions. Okay, so this doesn't really do anything now. We need to write some more functions. The first thing we're going to do is write a function called toggle switch. And that is going to take this on-off button we have, and it's going to turn it on or turn it off, depending on its previous state. So let me show you that. Function toggle switch on will equal not on. Whoops, that's not on, that's a 0, on. Okay, and then let me write another line, and then I'll explain what's going on here if you don't know already. Okay, very simply, what's happening in our toggle switch here is that this function is asking if the button is on, and by the way, so it's default, it starts at false here. See, let on equals false, so it starts at false. And what this is saying is, let's read it from right to left. On, which is false now, and this is not. So not false is true. So what this is really saying is, whatever on is, make it the opposite. So if it's false, make it true. If it's true, make it false. That's what this not does. Okay, so that's turning it on and off based on what it was previously. And then we're calling a function called create div, which we haven't written yet. We're going to write it right now. Function create div, and we're going to test on, because we're only going to create divs if it's on. So I could say if on equals true, but I can also say this, if on, because the if statement will test on for true or false. Okay, in this case, on is a Boolean, so it's either true or false, so this will work. If you don't understand that, just play around with it a little bit. Or if you don't feel comfortable with it, just write if on equals true. All right, so the next line is we're going to create a variable called D, just because I like it nice and short. And that's going to equal document create element. What kind of element are we creating? We're creating a div element. All right. And we need to give it some style. So D style width. In this case, it's going to equal 100%. That's in quotes. And D height, D style height. I'm saying 10 pixels. And you might want to play around with that one. D style background color or background. Either one equals, well, guess what that's going to equal? We're going to go grab this random color that we created down here. So we're going to call the getRandomColor function. The getRandomColor function returns a color, a random color. So we're going to call that function, getRandomColor. And then document body append D. And that line, if you haven't figured it out already, just takes this D, which is the div element we created and gave it some size and color, and now is attaching it to the body. It won't show up unless we attach it to the body. Okay, now we're going to run this create div on automatic. And the way we do that was with set timeout. We call the function again periodically. I'm going to call it every 1,000 milliseconds, which is every second. Let's save that and see if it works. And there it goes. So as this is running, you might be able to see some possibilities. If you want to put this in a website, you could do different heights, random heights, different widths, make it faster, okay? How do you make it faster? You change the set timeout call here. Right now we have it at 1 second. Just for the heck of it, let's try it every 20 milliseconds. That's pretty fast. Reload it, turn it on. Look at that, boom. Okay, so that's a fun little project. Again, what would I do here? Not a lot to play with. Change the speed. I think what I play with most of all is just changing the width and height, and maybe putting this div, maybe you put this div inside another div on the right or left or top or bottom of your web page or something like that. So maybe play with the CSS a little bit more. Okay, so that's lesson 30. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you use it and improve it. See you in lesson 31. Thanks for coming.